In this section, we're going to talk about the importance of POSM design. We're also quickly going to touch upon a toolkit that's called the 4 C's, and I will also later on be showing a lot of great examples of POSM designs. But first of all, the importance of POSM design. As we know, 80% of the POSM is not even seen or acted upon. So this provides a significant opportunity to improve the efficiency and effectiveness, especially as we know that a significant decision making is being made by the shoppers where POSM is placed. So if they don't recognize or see any POSM because of a poor design, they will not make a decision to buy your brands. So we need to get a better understanding of the POSM, also how we design it and also how we execute it in the outlet. So in this section, we're going to talk about the POSM design and how we can ensure that the brands will be recognized by the shoppers or even seen in the shoppers' very busy day-to-day life. So what are some of the things that you can use to improve your POSM designs? For instance, you really have to consider something like colors. What kind of colors are you using? You can also use kind of a contrast. So if you have something that's very contrasting to what is normally in, for instance, a supermarket, you might also get recognized because it's something unusual. You can also think about the design, obviously, that you're using, both the colors, contrast, and the design, of course. And then there is the different kind of shapes. So instead of just having a standard shape that fits within a normal supermarket, maybe you can consider using different kind of shapes that will grab the attention of the shoppers. Lights are also something that's very important when it comes to POSM, and that really can attract the shopper's eye because they see something unusual, they see something that shines, and then the eye immediately drags towards the light and your POSM. Sound is also something that you can use to create visibility and engagement. It's something that again will distract the shoppers in their very unconscious shopping. Also, messaging is important because if you have the right messaging, it's easier for the shoppers to know exactly what this product is for or what the offer is, etc., etc. Movement is also something that you can use and fits very well with maybe the sound and the light. So if you have a movement, for instance, a POSM that is moving, it's also something that will attract the shoppers on their path to purchase. So you can use the colors, contrast, design, shape, light, sound, messaging, and movement to create visibility and engagement. When you're designing POSM, another thing that you can do is considering the 4C toolkit. And what is the 4C? The 4C is really about cut through, consistent, clear, connect when you are developing POSM design. So for instance, cut through really means that will it grab the people's or shoppers' attention, and does it stand out in and beyond the category? When it comes to consistent, will people or shoppers immediately link this POSM to the brand? So are you consistent throughout your POSM and for the brand world? And then there is the third C, which is clear. Will people find it simple, easy to understand, and also relevant? So for instance, with the messaging, is it a very clear message? What is it that you're trying to sell here? And the last C is the one that's called connect, which is also super important C and also a super important aspect to consider when you are developing POSM, because we learned how important the emotions are in the aspect of the shoppers. And if you're connecting with the shoppers on the path to purchase, you will have a great chance to be seen by the shoppers. So connect really is about if the shoppers will feel good and emotionally connected and also act upon it. So those are the 4 C's toolkit that you really can consider when you're designing POSM, and I will also later on discuss the 4 C's in details. So I've also looked into what kind of marketing design principles that you can have. So here is some of the principles that you can use when you are developing POSM design. The first one is called visual disruption. What does that mean? Use contrast, color, shape, light, movement, sound, etc. to visually disrupt the shopper. So those were some of the things that I just mentioned previously. Also, the visual identity is obviously super important. So make sure the brand visual identity is clear and POS is visually consistent with also above the line communication. So the number of visual elements. So limit the number of visual elements on POSM, because too much can also be confusing. So the more there is, the less the shopper will see. And then there is the key visual. Focus on one key visual throughout each of the POSM that you're creating. So don't have multiple different kind of key visuals, because it will distract the shoppers and they won't even notice and they won't even be understanding what they actually have to focus on. So the product benefits is obviously also very important. So bring the main product benefit to life visually. So you should always know, of course, what your brand and product's benefits are, and therefore bring that to life. Then there is supporting message. So have one clear supporting message. Keep the number of words to a minimum. Easy to read and understand. So make sure that the message is easy to understand and readable from a distance as well, because as you know, shoppers don't always enter the aisle of your brand. So make sure that your message is very easy to understand, of course, and also readable from different distances as well. So you don't have to stand right in front of the product or brand to understand what this message is about. And then evaluate POSM using the 4 C's. So the 4 C's is this toolkit that I mentioned earlier, and that I will also later on deep dive into, and how you can use the 4 C's. So evaluate new POSM designs using the 4 C's, which is cut through, clear, consistent, and connect. So this is why POSM design is super important, and we'll also touch a bit about some marketing design principle, as well as the 4 C's toolkit that you can use when you're developing POSM designs.